Okay, so we are live. We're up and running. Welcome CSL. We are here, and it's lottery day. As usual, when we get to this stage of the season, and the lottery is running, we are always joined by Dennis. Dennis, how's everything going? Some Slack TV problems, Dennis. We can't hear you. Are you there? You might need to unmute yourself.
I was muted somehow.
Here we go. Right.
Okay.
So we're in. Dennis, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine as long as I win the lottery, pretty much. So we will see how I feel after the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. So I mean, in terms of the lottery, I think we've got obviously Milwaukee, who have the best odds. Probably the team. Would you say the team most in need of probably a top 1 or top 2 pick?
I don't even think they are in need of a top 1 or top 2 pick. They need like I don't know 5 more picks to be relevant at all. I don't think they will win more than like 20 games next year anyway. So yeah, hopefully we'll end up with a top 3 pick. So yeah, they could draft at least something.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I think most of the CSL are hoping that Denver and Milwaukee kind of don't get shifted too much on this, because they're the teams that are most in need.
Yeah, but even if he ends up top 1, he should start working on his prospects. So, for example, Maker, I think he's rotting on the. I have no idea what actually Maker is doing because no instruction used on him, nothing. So that was a top 3 pick, which was pretty much wasted so far. So no idea if another top 3 pick will even help if Manu doesn't work on his team or doesn't start working on his team. So we will see what happens with the Bucks.
Yeah. See how it goes. I mean, in terms of your prospects, I mean, you've got several picks here in the lottery. Are you kind of hoping that one jumps up, or is it kind of you'd be satisfied even in the position that they currently are?
To be honest, I'm happy if we just stay where we are. So if it's pick 4, I have no idea, what is it? 14 and 12? Yeah, I think 12.
Yeah.
And we are fine because I think we should get a player we want at 4, and we also can draft some more backups or even third, fourth others at 12 and 14. So as long as we don't drop another 3 spots, because I have no idea, because Utah, Miami, and Philadelphia jumps or so, then it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, you're in a good situation anyway with this draft, so we'll see how that goes for you. I will point out, since we have a grand total of 3 viewers watching this live, they can comment in the live chat box, and we will try and throw their comments in if they have a particular question or a comment or something to throw at Dennis or the draft team who are watching as well. So, Dennis, should we click the button? No pressure, and we'll see how we get on.
Yeah, we will now see a Miami button because Boston will jump. Okay. Nope, we didn't jump, sadly. So pick 14 for us.
So, I mean, guess in terms of prospects, who you want to sort of who you think are selecting there, I guess you don't want to give too much away, but is it going to be have you got your eye on sort of 2 or 3 guys there, or is it kind of you're hoping, just the one guy, one particular guy who may already be around that selection is there come draft day?
I think when you go into the draft, you always have a guy on your mind you would prefer to draft at this spot, but you never know who's falling in love with the guys available. So it's pretty much a lottery to be at 14. So, but however, I think there's a lot of talent, at least until the early 20s, where you can get pretty much a very good backup or even a starter. So we will see. At least I know that we need a new point guard because Conley will be gone, and we need a new backup big man as we only have Gordon and Skull. So maybe a big off the bench or so would be a target at this pick.
Yeah, I mean, was the Connolly decision a no-brainer for you guys, or is it something you kind of have just decided over the past sort of 24 hours? Because it sounded like you were looking to sign and trade him initially.
Yeah, it was an option, but so far the offers we got wouldn't have been good enough to do a sign trade because, yeah, no prospects I really like pretty much, or two old ones. So cutting him and going after Roja also will be more useful. And even if we can't sign them, we still can try to bring back Mike later in the free agency for I have no idea how much, but maybe less. So we will see what happens. But at least we need a point guard in the draft to be set for the future, even if Mike returns.
Yeah, I mean, I just got the list up. I mean, I don't want to sort of spend too much time looking at this pick, but I mean, in terms of someone who's currently around that sort of range, is someone like a PJ Dozier who is a point guard who could possibly help you guys out. Just the guy is currently selected around that range, really. So be interested what you do come draft day, whether you move up or whether you trade this one, depending on other picks. But let's have a look, see who's got number 13.
Okay, hopefully Miami. Thank God. They didn't jump into top 3. That would suck. Okay.
But I think that's a relief to the whole of the league that Miami haven't moved up.
Miami has another pick. Just seen that, right?
I have, yeah, yeah.
So
I
they still
mean,
have a chance to jump into the top 3.
still have a chance, but hopefully we'll see how it goes. But at least one stayed where it is. So Miami obviously having a good season, getting a couple of picks here. They're certainly going to be a force in the Eastern Conference for the next several years. Should we see who's got number 12?
Hopefully not Boston. Damn it. Okay. So we have 12
and 14. Yeah, status quo so far.
No jumps. Okay. No. Memphis, which I think the pick they got in the Durant trade, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if it will be golden. Okay, it won't. No. But I think still a very good return for aging Durant. I think they got, who did they get? Crowder or so in the pick and something else. Can't remember what else. But I think that's a great return for someone who's injured pretty much all the time.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of prospects who are currently around this range, I mean, you've got the likes of Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox, Semi Ojale, who all prospects who could certainly help Memphis and certainly fit their type of style of play, certainly. So
Yeah, I think they will just draft the best defender available. So I don't know by heart who it will be at this range, but whoever it is, be sure to be in Memphis next year.
Yeah. So let's have a look who's next.
Next up would be Toronto. So it is Toronto. I think also a pretty good deal for them. They got it in the Drummond for Cousins trade. So on top, a top 10 pick, nothing bad, because I think the talent in the top 10 is very, very solid. And even if someone like Bamba could drop to them at 10, he could be or could come pretty much a player similar to Drummond. So I think that's huge for them.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of guys around that number 10 pick who could possibly come into Toronto and be, a solid starter or provide some really good minutes for them. So good situation for them. Be interesting to see what happens with Toronto in general, because obviously Chile said that he's going to step down at the end of this year, but whatever happens. So good situation for a new GM coming in, certainly.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I think they are a team that could go for one of the older prospects because they are pretty much all in, had the second best record this year, could be even better next year if they get someone like Gula or who was it else? Orkins or so. So they could add some ready now talent that are guys that could be pretty much second or third starter. So that's huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So 9.
It's San Antonio, so no one moved so far. Next pick will be crucial because it's Miami coming up.
Yeah. No, so
I'm still
San
laughing, but I'm sure I won't of the next pick.
No, well, we'll see how it goes. But I mean, so San Antonio, bit of a mixed bag year for them, really. They kind of chop and change direction. Certainly, the pick will help them, as I think they're looking to go a little bit younger anyway. But I mean, the guy could see them taking here is someone like Laurie Markkinen. He could certainly help San Antonio and be a nice pairing in the post for them.
I would be surprised if he's available that late. To be honest, I think he's a lock for the at least top 3. So
well, he's currently mocked down here, so we'll see.
Never trust the mock.
Hey, I'm just going by the big board. Just going by the big board.
Yeah, I know, but I have no idea why it's so weird right now. But the mock still looks pretty.
Well, I mean, if not, then maybe someone like Jordan Bell, possibly.
Yeah, okay, that's possible.
That sort of. I get the sense that they'll. I know obviously everyone says best player available, but I get the sense that they will have their eye on a front court player. I don't know why. I just have that hunch with them.
Yeah, that's true. Anyhow, I think San Antonio and also Tim in LA are the 2 GMs that should stop all this flip-flopping, because if they would stick to a route, they could be way better so far. But they change pretty much their direction every half season or so.
Oh yeah,
So that might be the reason they are still stuck in nowhere's land.
I mean, we've seen Tim highlighted on his article a couple of weeks ago with the Durant trades that I think it was San Antonio. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they could have had Smart, Johnson, and I can't remember who else. They could have had someone else. They could have had like 3 of the best players in the league if they'd have just carried on developing with their picks that they had.
Yeah, and then they sent them away for Durant, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So let's have a look. Do we think Miami's going to jump or not?
I really hope they don't, because it would be so fucked up. But let's see. Okay, nothing happened when I clicked on it.
Try again.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Just
so Miami have pick 18, 8 and 13. Obviously, still even at that stage, it's 2 solid players they're going to get.
I think they have to draft a point guard because they're missing one. So call them in or sign them in for one of Livingston, who's also Smith, Ball. I actually think Ball could be a good fit, and I don't think he would be selected in the top 7, at least based on the other players available. But as far as I know, there are so many Lakers fans, so Ball most likely will be first pick. But who knows?
I mean, there are a lot of point guards who I can see going around pick 13. So I could see them taking someone like Jackson at number 8, another solid wing player who is versatile. That's someone who I could see them taking there. But
actually, I think we have so many teams at the top that are desperately needing another wing. For example, Milwaukee, in my opinion, should draft a wing because there are two wings that will help them a lot in Knox and Ingram. Then Denver, they have their point guard, shooting guard set. They have their bigs and Holstein and Randall, so they will draft wing 2. Atlanta also, they have Cat and they have Murray. Also, I think they have a pick very, very late in the draft, and there will still be available some point guards, so they should go wing 2, in my opinion, because also they have Josh Davis, or who they just sent away first to Sacramento. So I think the best wings are pretty much gone in the top 5 because so many teams needing one. Would be a surprise if Josh Jackson is still available at 8.
Yeah, it would be a surprise, but like you said, there's a lot of teams that need a wing player. So he's one of the better prospects there, certainly. So
yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's have a look. See who's next.
So let's see if Kyrus did a pretty bad mistake. If Utah jumps, it would be insane return for Exum, who also just got the Westbrook injury and will be done forever. Let's see. And Utah didn't jump, so Kyrus will be happy right now, maybe celebrating.
Yeah, he will be relieved, definitely. Utah have got an interesting situation this offseason. Obviously, a lot of cap tied up on some experienced veteran players. Much needed bit of youth from that team coming in at pick 7, I think. I honestly don't know who they will select. I really have no idea. That's one team in this sort of top 10 that when I was looking at this on the forum, I was really struggling to think about where they would be placed and who they would pick.
Just going by fit and not by BPA, best player available, I would say Bamba is a huge fit, very, very good fit for them because a Porzingis Bamba lineup or front court would be huge because they are such a good fit next to each other. But I also think they need a point guard like so many teams because they have a great perimeter offense and Lavine, and they have Porzingis as a big man. So a point guard who can feed both would be nice. So in my opinion, another direction Ball would be a really, really, really good fit for. But yeah, we will see in draft day.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would be one of the teams that will aggressively look to move up in this draft. I think.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they'll have, if like you said, if they're after a point guard, they'll have their eye on one of the, top 1 or 2 point guards who will likely go within the top 5. So we'll see.
Let's see. So pick 6. In the last few years, always pick 6 or 5 jumps. So
who's
either
6?
Philadelphia or Atlanta.
So out of those two, before you click it, out of those two, I'd like to see Atlanta. If it was either one of those two move up, it'd be Atlanta.
Yeah, I think normally Philadelphia shouldn't be that low, to be honest. But
no.
Because what's his name again? Damn it, I forgot his name.
TJ, is that right?
TJ, yeah, right. Because TJ is so pretty much inactive. He's that low, but normally he should be around. I have no idea. Late playoff spot, so 8 seed.
But if they move up, imagine Parker and a top 3 pick.
That would be huge.
Huge. That would be franchise changing.
Yeah. So let's click on it. And Philadelphia jumped, just like I said. Atlanta is at 6. Oh man, I knew it. It's always pick 6 every fucking year. This engine really need to change. We need to go to another engine. That's so fucked up.
So Philadelphia have jumped. It's just a question of where they've jumped to, which is I reckon around about pick 2. I reckon. In fact,
yeah, most of the time it's pick 2.
normally
For
it's pick
example,
2. Yeah.
in old CSL, I had pick 6-2 when I managed Boston when I joined,
Yeah.
and I jumped to 2 to get Len.
Yeah.
The year after, I can't remember who it was, but it was pick 6-2, and they also jumped to the second spot. So it's just every year.
So yeah, so I guess Atlanta dropped 1. Still going to get a good player there. I mean, they're going for a bit of a rebuilding patch, but they managed to swipe Cat, which is was a fantastic trade in my opinion for them. So to pair whoever comes in at 6 with him, they're going to be in good shape in a few years if they carry on the way they're going.
Yeah, for sure. They have their franchise guy, and now they can add very good second and third starters. So yeah, what do you want more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but at least we are in front of Atlanta, because I think they would go or would be looking at point guards too. And as we need one desperately, it's good to have them behind us, not in front of us. Okay, so here comes Boston. As I said, damn it, fuck it. So okay, we are peeing at 5. Yeah, okay. Nothing bad, nothing good either. So at least we didn't get passed by like 3 teams.
So the initial reaction coming through, not on the chat on the channel, but on the Facebook chat, is that Philadelphia don't deserve this. With an expletive, we should move him down on principle. So that's the initial reaction so far.
Sounds like Willie.
not quite, but yeah. So pick number 5. I mean, you moved down 1, but you still think you're going to get a someone who you're after there?
Yeah, I think there are like 7 guys I wouldn't mind picking in the top 5. So one should be available, because mathematically, yeah, only 5 can be gone, or 4 can be gone until we are on the clock. So we will see if our highest target will be there, if not. But being honest, I think we can pretty much choose between all point guards in the class, because I don't think one of them will be in the top 4. And at least unless someone really falling in love with, I don't know who, but we will see.
Yeah, I mean, still a good situation for you. I think there's, you'll easily get if you're after a point guard, you'll get someone who will be a fantastic point guard for you, who will fill that Connolly role straight away. So still good, but obviously a bit disappointing that you've moved down 1, I imagine, initially, but it happens.
I'm just wondering, based on what teacher will draft, because I know he didn't scout at all.
Well,
Didn't
I
do
mean,
anything.
if we look at Atlanta, previous general manager last year, I know that he didn't move up, but he dropped down, I think, 1 place and made a questionable selection, didn't he? Because he didn't scout. So be interesting to see what TJ does. I don't know whether he's scouted at all. I can't imagine he has, because he hasn't been active. So that could be a bit of a that could make the draft quite interesting, depending on where he goes in at. But yeah, interesting. I think depending on where they go, I can see him getting flooded with several offers if he hasn't scouted. People try and take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's true.
So number 4.
Number 4, your bet. Who is it?
I think Chicago.
I say Milwaukee. Just because it would be fun.
I think my 4 goes Chicago, Denver. Chicago. Yeah, Chicago, Denver, Philly, Milwaukee. I still think Milwaukee gets top pick.
I say, is it even possible? Let me think about it. Yeah, it's possible. It's Milwaukee, Denver, Chicago. No, wait. Milwaukee, Denver, Philly, Chicago.
Let's see. Who's got 4?
Denver.
Oh, Miles is going to be turning over now.
Okay, so Chicago jump 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago's jumped 2.
Oh,
so
wow.
Marcus is going to be delighted. Miles is going to be throwing his laptop across the room at this stage. If there was one of the teams that really needed to get in that top two was Denver, and Paul Miles is still probably not going to get that franchise guy unless one of them slips up.
Well, let's be honest, it's not so bad for Denver because in the one mock draft I posted, I said, okay, Denver needs to get into the top 4 or so because they have to get a new wing.
Mm-hmm.
So one of Jackson, Knox, Ingram, someone else will be there at 4. So I think still a good spot for them. Didn't lose too much. They just can choose between those 3.
Yeah, just Denver just needs talent, don't they? I mean, Miles has said it before. They just need talent. They just don't have much of it. Unfortunately, it's a really rubbish situation he took over, and he's done well to get some of the talent that he's got. I mean, he's taken on some bad contracts, some bad situations, and just tried to make the best of it. And it would have been nice to have seen a bit of a reward for them, really.
Yeah.
So it looks like, just from the chat, Marcus is absolutely delighted at the moment. He's pining for number 1. People are already apologising to Denver, so we'll see what number 3 brings.
Yeah, I really hope Marcus is able to get his Markan guy. So let's see. Oh, it's Chicago on 3.
Chicago 3. Which
Well,
means that
wow, okay. That's
he more
crazy.
than likely will be able to get Markkinen now.
Honestly, I thought Philly would be such a nice spot for Ball or whoever, but now they are in top 2. They have to draft someone else because it would be such a waste of a pick. Oh man. So let's see.
Yeah.
What do you think about Chicago?
I think. Well, I would be surprised if Marcos doesn't select Markkinen. I'll be surprised. I mean, we know he's a top talent, so he, makes sense. It's a fit. It's a guy that he would want anyway. We know that Chicago are going to actively chase Drummond in the summer. That's no secret. So he'll be a nice pairing next to them, and it puts them in a really good shape for next year.
Yeah, Markan and Drummond would be a very nice front court, to be honest. Pretty much the perfect fit because it's like Nowitzki and Chandler when they won the title.
Yeah.
I think it's a good comparison. But yeah, we will see. My bet would be that Markan, it's possible he's there at 3, but I think Markan reminds me a lot of who was the guy Manu had, and no, I think Miles had, right? In the NLL, they had one of them had a big man. Mullins it was, right? But it
Mullins.
was.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mullins was a very strong offensive center. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. That very similar if you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, I think who was Manu's franchise guy again? Conley? Could it be? I
Conley
remember it was
and
Conley.
I
And
can't
someone
remember.
else.
They had a post. They had a center as well, and I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, me neither. But I could see him drafting, for example, Markan because he could build around him a very nice, efficient offense. But yeah, we'll see. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's check who wins.
Hang on. Before you do that, Dennis, Chat's just said that was it. Who it was? Kusta Kufos.
Yeah, it was Kufos, right? I remember he
Yeah,
had
I can see a similarity there.
who it was. Yeah, that's true. Kufos it was. Yeah, so maybe he can find his new Kufos in this CSL.
Yeah, so that was from our resident NLL historian Tim, throwing that one in there.
Yeah, for the next time we really need to call him in. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2.
That's pretty much number 2 and number 1 because will be revealed right away. So Philadelphia 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So Manu can choose whoever he wants.
Yeah.
Will be a tough decision for him, and I think the top 2 is pretty much set. So it's for TJ to see who's left, and Manu can decide who will be the first pick.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if it was me, I would, for me, Ingram's a no-brainer for Milwaukee. I think he's the exact type of player that they need.
To be honest, I think Ingram wouldn't be a good selection for them because he doesn't have the offense they need for first scoring option. So my advice would be either go with Mark Curran and go the safe route, or pick Knox, because I think Knox has the highest upside on the offensive end. But also, it seems like Knox doesn't have much fans around the league, so I wouldn't be sad if I had to draft him at 5 either. So I don't know, very, very tough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Knox possibly. It depends on what strategy Manu wants to play with this Bucks team, because he can basically play any type of strategy going forward because he can completely rebuild that team. So depends on what way he wants to go, because whoever he picks there, that's going to signal the approach that they're going to take for the next 5 years at least. So be interested to see how it does. The question that's come from the chat for you is the question is, will Manu use any instructions on whoever he picks?
Yeah, that's what I was asking in the beginning when I said he has Maker, and Maker's like, I don't know, rotting on the bench pretty much with no instruction. Completely used pick so far. Yeah, I have no idea why Manu isn't doing anything with him, because it's such a waste of talent. But yeah, we will see. That's why I'm also a bit sad, to be honest, that Milwaukee got the first pick, because I have no idea what to think about it. Maybe it's another young guy that's wasting away. So we will see what happens.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. Philadelphia have jumped. Chicago have jumped. Unfortunately, it was Denver and Atlanta who kind of lost out. Boston obviously moved down a little bit as well. Well, glad that Milwaukee's #1 pick. That's my initial reaction. Glad that Chicago and Denver haven't dropped, or at all, or gained places. Be interesting to see what Philadelphia does, whether they trade down or not.
Yeah, trading down would make sense. For example, I don't know, they could pretty much trade into the range of 6 to 10 or so, or even 4 to 10 to get a decent point guard. And I think a point guard is what they are missing for the future, and could grab another asset. So, in my opinion, that would make a lot of sense. But well, we will see what happens.
I could see Miami making another genius trade to get into #2.
You think with sending away number 8 and 13 for 2 or so?
I think they have 8-13, and they have some other pieces that TJ, I know, has been trying to get in the past when he's been active. So I think they could make it happen. But we'll see. We'll see. Lots to go on first, and
But
obviously there's lots of time between now and the actual draft.
But do you think that would make sense for Miami?
For Miami, if they got, I mean, let's assume. I mean, I honestly don't know. It depends on how it plays out. I mean, is there someone that I think that they should take it to? Possibly not, but it might be a case of Miami be panicking a little, and trying to get that point guard that they really want, and worrying that he won't be there at #8, and they'll have to take someone who they necessarily don't want. So in terms of a value move where they'd move 8-13 and possibly something else they were not going to keep long term, to get up and get that point guard of the future, so they can pair with Simmons, Smith, and I can't remember his name now. The who's the wing guy? They've got Hamilton. If they can pair that up and say that's our core going forward, then it might be worth overpaying a little bit.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. My bet is, you can quote me on that. First pick will be Markan. Second pick will be Ingram, and third pick will be Knox. Fourth will be Jackson, and afterwards is a complete coin toss, pretty much, because those four are the, in my opinion, clearly best four players in this draft. As Markan is a way better skull, Ingram is slightly worse. It's not even close to Simmons, but nearly the same type of player, just on a worse level. Then you have Knox, who has the offense of KD if he gets to the highest level. And then you have Josh Jackson, who's pretty much Wiggins, just with the ability to create turnovers. And afterwards, that's why I'm a bit disappointed that I just got thrown out of the top four, because I thought one of them will be wearing a Celtic jersey next year, but it won't happen, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know who will fuck it up, but I think unless Manu's pulling a completely weird pick, like he does before in many drafts in the NL and the CSL, like with Maker, I think those are the top four, and I also think it will be this order. But well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Interesting. As usual, one or two teams have jumped up in predictable style. Unfortunately, it was a couple who lost out, but we'll see what comes draft day. And in terms of, there's lots more scouting to do, lots more training camps, combines, etc. before the draft. So I'm sure we'll have a lot of movement in terms of players between now and then anyway. But I'm sure we'll be back before then, Dennis, anyway, to have a chat about the class and talk about drafts and mocks and all kinds of things. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we can now also reveal that we will create a huge mock draft in the upcoming days, the entire scouting team together. So yeah. So expect a very cool article to come up soon, to have some more information before the next scouting period is due. So yeah, a lot of stuff right ahead of us.
Cool. Great stuff. As always, thanks, Dennis.
It was a pleasure.
Keep an eye out for future draft updates.